Okay. Welcome everyone. Thanks to Fraser and Karen for putting this together, and Fraser only to, to putting this together. Since it's it's 3 presentations today, I should go fast. So if I slow it down a little bit, excuse me. Okay, today we're going to talk about acquiring knowledge. This is very specific. It's not a technical topic. This is why it's a little bit controversial. There's a lot of opinions about this, and probably we can start with a disclaimer. We are different people and different minds, different experiences, different cultures, different things, and all of this affect our process of acquiring knowledge. So everybody has his own experience of how he finds the best way to acquire knowledge. So this was mine, at least. This is what I've come across during my life, and maybe I thought maybe we can share it with you. The second thing is, this is an ongoing process. You can't reach a state at which you say, okay, I know how to know things, and then stop. You're going to change, the culture is going to change, the circumstances going to change. So you have always to monitor yourself. Am I doing the right thing in how to acquire knowledge or not? The last thing is, even with this, sometimes I fail. Sometimes I feel weak, I feel bored, it doesn't work for me, and I look for things on how to change it. So this is a disclaimer I should start with. The first thing is, we are humans. What do I mean by that? We have a limited capacity. We feel tired. We sometimes don't really think clearly because of things happening in our lives, and so depending on that, I came with this diagram. It shows that every one of us has a capacity or an area that he can cover. If the x-axis is the topics a man is interested in, and the core competency is going to be the center. So if my core competency is web development, I'm here, and there's other topics that is a little bit further. That I'm interested in biology, I'm interested in mobile development, I'm interested in further things like nuclear power, I am interested in, like the further you move away from the center, the further topics you are interested in. And vertically is how much knowledge you should or you would want to gain. Yeah, this is the deeper, the higher, the deeper the knowledge. And everyone has his own capacity. He has his own area he can cover. You can't cover a big area with horizontal unless you are Richard Campbell from .NET Rocks. He is pretty horizontal and up. Anyway, so this in mind, you should know where you should stand. Should you go deeper? Should you go wider? Which topic you need to go deeper in? So this is the main point. Channels. In order for us to have knowledge in our minds, we have to subject ourselves to channels to acquire knowledge. And this can be 2 different things. Fast reading, podcasts, videos, attending sessions, talking to colleagues, and all of these have pros and cons and situations that can benefit. So let's examine these in details. I also came up with this diagram. The horizontal line is the effort you pay in a certain channel to acquire knowledge, and the vertical axis is the value you gain from this channel. Know, of course, that this is, like I said, this is controversial. It's controversial. Many opinions can come in and experiences. So we start from skimming articles. If I am on the edges of my diagram, I want to know some biochemistry stuff. I want probably to know some nuclear power stuff, or maybe some mobile development if I come closer. I would start with skimming articles. This is one of the things that I've seen is the best. It consumes very less from your time. In a matter of seconds, you can read an article, get the idea, get the basic knowledge of it, and then move on. This is for the edges of the diagram. Moving up, listening to podcasts, and the reason I put it here because it doesn't consume time of you. It doesn't, or let's say, it doesn't require a specific time to dedicate for it in order to acquire the knowledge. So if you are in a tram, you are already in the tram. So you just put the pods and get knowledge. Yeah. If you're in the train, if you're on a hike. So this is why I put it here. But the problem is with podcasts, most of the time, we are not fully concentrated. We don't process all the knowledge we are hearing because of the things that's happening around us. Articles, this is when I want to really have more deeper knowledge about something. And above it, of course, it's going to come books. I didn't put it, I think. But it's reading articles that is more than 3 pages. One of the examples is George Polsky's article about Unicode and stuff. It's really long run with very nice meat inside. So this, you don't want to skip. You read every line, you paragraph, you comprehend, you understand. Then comes video. The video, the nice thing about the video is you can get the emotions, you can get the voice, you can get the emphasis, you can get the retractions. All of this you can get from the video. You don't get from the article. The only time the article is better, probably we talked about this one time ago, is that with articles, you can, if you find a paragraph that you're not really interested in, you already know this, you can jump. But with a video, you have to seek and move, and it's not really clear. But in theory, if the knowledge is new to you from the beginning of the article till the end, and the video from the beginning till the end, most likely you're going to get more out of the video than the article. And there's a single session because you get interacted with the user, with the speaker. You ask him, someone asks out of context, and then you get more knowledge. Live training when you attend longer sessions with the span on a different day, multiple days. This is really good because also you get to interact with others. And pairing. Pairing is the last, if I would consider all of this is a phase, pairing is the last step in this phase. Pairing is important because you are getting real experience. You are getting the experience that is live. If I sit next to Bernard and he is doing some sequel and he is stuck in a problem or he wants to have a connection that he's having a problem. I'm living a live experience on how to troubleshoot. The knowledge is really fresh. It's real. It's not baked. It's not faked. So pairing is the last of this. The new phase that it jumps all together is doing. And this is the thing that I want to emphasize on. You have to do. If you want to know, you have to put your hands dirty and you have to talk about it. Specifically in our industry is coding or probably playing with the product. But it's doing. If you don't do, I wouldn't say that you are really getting the knowledge you want. So starting from doing, you have to do it. And the further step is, or I would say that the last step is teaching. If you want to know something really, really, really good, you will have to teach it. And you don't have to be an expert before you start. But just say, I want to teach. Then this is the nice thing about like from the presentations I have made in my life. I've never had the full knowledge before I started the presentation. For example, I would say, okay, the ASP.NET identity is a really interesting topic. I want to talk about it. I have some basic knowledge. Okay, let's start off how I want to, or what I should tackle. And, oh, I don't know this. Okay, I don't know this. I don't know this. I draw a mind map until I make sure that I'm at least covering more scope than the content I want to deliver. And by the end of the presentation, I have jumped a big jump to where I wanted to go in the knowledge aspect. And this is not only in presentations, this is on also writing blog posts, writing emails, answering others, and all of these. So these are the channels. Now the tips and tricks on how to gain the best out of this. They are sporadic, they are random, they are not consequent in any way, but I tried my best to put them in a proper order. First of all, know what you want. What happens is that this month, Azure is nice, I want to learn Azure, and I read a couple of articles, I want to read a book, I put it on my shelf and things, and then next month everybody is talking about Xamarin. Oh, Xamarin, yes, of course, mobile development, everybody's moving there. And you jump to Xamarin. And you keep jumping until you know one thing about everything, which is going to be really flat. You don't want to do this. You want to really know what you want. It's okay to have different interests at a span of time, but the closer the span of times together of changing interests, the lower knowledge you're going to have at any of these. So if maybe you can make it 6 months period, or 1 month, or 1 year, or probably a phase in your life, or it can be short and long depending on the knowledge you want to acquire. But you know that the lower the span is the worse. So know what you want. Another thing is going on breadth is not always bad. We are consultants, and sometimes the solution lies here. So if you come across a problem and you don't have this knowledge here, you will not be able to jump here and then increase your capacity on that vertical, or at least bring on another consultant. So it's not always bad to know more, but you should use the right channels on what you interest you. Probably I don't want to solve a biochemical problem, but this is the idea. Yeah. Increase your capacity. So one of the tricks is, since we have a specific area and a capacity, the trick is expand the capacity. How can we do this? Facebook? No. These are evil sources of time consumers. Just rid of them. Everyone knows it's not always Facebook, but because it's common these times, probably a game console, a chat, or whatever. Everyone knows his. So avoid the time consumers. If you want to be better at something, you have to give it some time. So increase your capacity. Time fillers. Okay, what is wrong in this picture other than that the guy is wearing slippers?
No, helmet.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He's doing the same thing in the same way.
He's riding a fixie.
He doesn't have earbuds or earphones. He commutes 30 minutes. He wasted 30 minutes. Okay, he's practicing, but sorry.
For purely safety reasons, I'm glad he's not wearing them.
Well,
I'm just going to point that out.
I've come across this with a friend one time, and if you are listening to music, I would agree. But if you are listening to podcasts, then it's not gonna noise out or conceal you from the outer world. If you are listening to podcasts and someone talks to you, you will hear him. So but like I said, this is the word I hate this word. What is it? Controversial. Never mind.
The word's illegal.
Yeah. So time fillers. As long also the train. Yeah. If you have, it doesn't need to be podcast only, but also Kindle or whatever. Comprehension.
I want to raise something at that point.
Yes.
And I know where you're going with this, but those incidents, like riding a bike or sitting waiting for a train, are places where our brain can sit there and do things. You know, part of our knowledge acquirement is the ability to think through some stuff. And as someone who walks, rides a bike and catches public transport, sometimes the best place to kind of assimilate all that information that you've taken in is in that space where you're not actually trying to assimilate information.
It's true, but only if done purposely. If you are just drifting with your thoughts, then this is a problem. If you are just thinking, oh, this house is nice, oh, the rates of the exchange has gone up and down, oh, the weather is nice, then you're not really utilizing your time. But if you purposely say, I'm going to spend the 30 minutes in the train thinking about the problem I was trying to solve and get ideas, then I would agree. So that's it.
I must support you in this case, because quite often some ideas or solutions to the problems comes to me a few minutes after I stop thinking about the problem, after I start thinking about something else.
True.
It's good to stop thinking.
It's very good, but the process of stopping and thinking by itself, if you realize this while you are doing it, this is good. But I don't expect you to gain knowledge every second, every moment. Sometimes you are just playing a game. You want to recreate about yourself. You want to have legend, right? So it's not about specifically not giving yourself time to think. Yeah, it's just don't waste time that you otherwise you could have utilized. If you are utilizing by contemplating, then that's good. Okay, comprehension versus memorization. This is important. Comprehension is more important than memorization. It's good to understand the problem and memorize it, but understanding it would give you much greater power of knowledge over memorization. For example, I'm going to give a very lame example. It's ADO.NET. Okay, it's not more than any more. But imagine this. In the early days, we used to... you want to get data from the database? Open connection, create a command, fill it with the dataset, you have the tables. Yeah. And this is a piece of knowledge, and what you do, or what we do sometimes, or some of us, would memorize the steps. That's fine, but the problem is once the circumstances change, your knowledge is obsolete, or your knowledge doesn't fit the scenario. So what is a better alternative is to comprehend. Understand what's going on behind the scenes. Know that the table is being created and it's being filled by a cursor or by a data reader from behind the scenes. And then, only then, you'll know that at that point it's better to comprehend rather than memorize. Having said that, memorization is still important. Because you don't want to come across a situation and say, oh, what was that command again? It's okay if you are a little bit further from your area of focus, but if it's in your area of focus, you don't want to waste time on searching. And probably Tatham, if you look on Tatham's timeline and see how he answers some of the people, like from the top of the head, so it's always there. So memorization is good. Multitasking is a myth. So if you think you are doing some code and listening to a podcast, or watching a video, a presentation, and checking Twitter, then you are deceiving yourself. You are not taking knowledge from both sides. What happens is something like this. The first statement probably say it comes from an article, and the second one comes on Twitter, maybe. What your mind does in a very fast way is it shifts between threads. So it's taking knowledge from that stream, and then it jumps to that stream, and then jumps back to that stream. And what we think, what happens behind the scenes is that the mind would try to fill the gaps for us most of the time. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So what happens is, let's imagine this. LocalDB is not a replacement for SQL Express. Then your mind jumps to, yet it seems to be the language of the future. You will miss that LocalDB and SQL Express actually run on the same SQL server.exe. You'll miss this piece of information because you're getting this information, that JavaScript is the future language future. But on the other hand, if you flip it, maybe you realize that JavaScript is, in its current state, is really messy, but you will also get really egocentric. So you see what I'm trying to say? It's you will not every time if you think you are doing multitasking in acquiring knowledge, in fact you are missing. So be mindful about this. Focus. Skipping or reading fast is not for everything. Sometimes you really want to stop, read the paragraph once, twice, understand what's going on, comprehend, close the book, contemplate. Yeah, you don't just want to skim everything. If you skim too much, you have vague idea about the knowledge you have. You don't have the knowledge, the real knowledge. We're not so far from the end, so bear with me. I don't know what I don't know. The solution is Twitter. Well, not Twitter. I would say streams of knowledge. And this happens probably in Twitter, because it's a stream of knowledge. Sometimes, sometimes not. And actually, one of the most interesting things that I have come across and I really value a lot is colleagues' conversations. And this is why, even if I can work from home, I usually encourage myself to come to the office to not to miss the conversations. And at some point, I even wanted to create a podcast just out of conversations that's happening in the office. Yeah, not those conversations, but I really.
What are you guys getting up to? Jeez.
Yeah, but really.
Really don't want to know.
Yeah, like it's amazingly important and really fabulous. So this is one of the things, and what happens is when you hear a colleague talking to each other, you don't know that you don't know that piece of knowledge, right? But when they talk to each other and they start mentioning terms and how-tos and things and different technologies, then you will really get real value. Tools. Use tools to help. I use Pocket a lot. Whenever I'm busy and I see a link on Twitter or to a certain article, or I see an email in the tick list. Well, tick list is one of the probably streams as well, the stream of knowledge. And I don't have the capacity, or I don't have the time right now. I just mark it to read it later. If you use Instapaper, that is fine too. But Pocket is like really amazing. It's everywhere and it's really nice. You can search and tag and retweet and stuff. So use the tools. Find your tools that will help you to gain more knowledge. Use your knowledge. Acquiring knowledge is not the sole purpose. It's not the end result you want. It's just a mean to accomplish things. Unless your purpose of knowledge is to brag, then you are in a very safe place. This is what you want to do. But really, knowledge is to solve problems. If you are not using your knowledge, then there's a problem. Some are smarter, and this is probably will bring.
Controversy.
That's it.
Jesus, big good thing.
Some people are smarter, but the idea is that's not an excuse for you to feel down. It's not an excuse for you to feel less. It's not an excuse for you to stop acquiring knowledge. So you don't compare yourself to someone that is really smart and you say, oh, I never can reach that level, or I'm just gonna ask him and that's it. No, you have to pursue. But it's very crucial not to put yourself down because some others are smarter, or we would have been all Einstein. And the last slide is move on. Get over it. Knowledge can be obsolete. It can fade away. What you have been very good at some point, it can be like the yuck in the future. I wouldn't say yuck, probably maybe not used, not so cool. And this is life, especially in the IT. Embrace knowledge acquiring. Embrace change. If you have been, this is why some people are stuck in COBOL. It's because they were afraid. They have made so much investment in acquiring that knowledge that they were afraid to move on, and they just clinged to that area.
Their six-figure salaries.
Maybe that wasn't a good example. Yeah, but forget COBOL. This, you know the idea. Yeah. Probably not too soon. Anyway, the idea is you have to move on. Yeah, and you shouldn't feel bad about this. It's okay that your knowledge is obsolete. Like I know someone who was a Silverlight expert and now he's Azure MVP. He's not here now. And thank you. Any questions?
I don't have a question, but a statement. I think it's one tip that you haven't put in, and it's try and use the skills that you choose to learn and try and use them in your work. And some skills are easier to use, like an example of F#, for example, we've used MYB. I'm starting to use it at Blue Door, and you can transition those skills across. It could be even in internal tools and things like that. So it may not be in their company's core product, but in a lot of ways you can actually use those skills in your work time and get paid to learn. So rather than just forcing them on your own time.
Okay, thank you so much.